The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
Are you ready? It's time. The inaugural Urban NerdCon is coming to Montgomery, Alabama, July 29th through the 31st. Blurs, nerds, and geeks from across the universe will converge on the capital city to see celebrity guests such as The Last Dragon, Tybok, Megan Tandy, and voice actor Dave Fennoy.
Hey, how you doing? I'm voice actor Dave Fennoy with a shout out to all my geeks, freaks, and urban nerds. Just want to let you know I'm going to be there and I want to meet you at the Urban NerdCon Gaming and Cosplay event. It's happening July 29th through the 31st in Montgomery, Alabama. Hope you want to meet me as much as I want to meet you.
So join us by visiting theurbannerdcon.net for ticket and vendor information. This will be the premier Blurred event in the universe. Theurbannerdcon.net. Our heroes, our villains, our stories, everyone's con. See you there.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Oh, that spin class was brutal.
Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
Pick something we all like. Okay, hold on. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
Buick Envision 2021.
Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you. All of you.
Q time is our class.
Good day, good people. Once again, you've got the grumpy old nerds in your ear. As always, it is I, your Uncle John, your elder who knows way too much about comic book movies and TV. And as always, I am accompanied by, at least half of the grumpy old nerd crew. Well wishes to Uncle DJ, Uncle Percy, and Auntie Nicole. Hopefully they're not out there fighting supervillains in their spare time. But who we do have here with us is from the planet of Florida, by way of the galaxy of Brooklyn, we've got Uncle Rod. What's good, Doctor?
What's going on, good people? What's happening? What's the word?
And behind the ones and twos, we
rocking
have
my
Uncle
Cowboys
Roy.
hat tonight.
Whoa, Lord. Here we go. Behind the ones and twos, Uncle Roy. What's good, Doctor?
Hello.
Come on, haters.
Before we go any further talking about anything, including
John,
the hate that Uncle
John,
Roy is...
John,
Uncle, yeah?
John,
Yeah.
they have won us since 1996. Ain't nobody hating no more. We just stating facts. Says the Dolphins fan who ain't won nothing since before that. But you know, hey, I'm gonna talk about my team because I know we suck, and I'm not. Yeah.
Well, the Bears won
72. Y'all was the shit.
The Bears won 1986, so I don't think any of us can say too much about anything right now. So, but what I will say is, get your tickets July 29th through the 31st. The grumpy old nerds will be at the Urban NerdCon. Montgomery, Alabama. Get
Yes,
your
sir.
tickets at
Pull that graphic up, sir.
Say it again.
I was talking to the super producer. Pull that graphic up. There we go.
Check out the urbannerdcon.net in Montgomery, Alabama. Get your tickets July 29th through the 31st. We are going to have a stone cold gas, as Don Cornelius would say if he was still with us. We have a plethora, did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah,
of
plethora.
guests lined up, panels, discussions. We've got cosplay, we've got gaming, we've got comics, how to make comics. We've got stars from stage and, no, not maybe stage, but certainly stars of screen coming to check us out. So please.
Say stage and screen, absolutely.
Stage and screen. Well, they'll be on the stage at You So Damn Country. Wow. Thank you, Heidi. That's a great comment to start us off today.
That's all right.
Oh, look. If for nothing
great.
else, come to the Urban Nerd Con to check out Adele Simmons. She was such a pleasure to have on this show the other day, and she gonna spill all the tea. She don't give a damn.
Anthony Montgomery.
She old enough to let you know what's going on, what for, and how it went down. Anthony Montgomery, China McCoy. We've got everybody from all four corners of the nerd galaxy. Check out the urbannerdcon.net. So, I would be remiss if I was going to say something about the January 6th hearings that are going on in right now, but I am nowhere near well-versed enough to speak politically on any of this, other than this some bullshit, and if they were black people, they'd all be either dead or locked up. So I'm going to talk about the fact that you can't keep a good man down. Martin Lawrence had an interview come out recently in which he talked about Bad Boys 4 is going forward with production. And you know what? I ain't mad at him. I ain't mad at Will Smith. I ain't mad at nobody. Bad Boys 4 is popcorn entertainment. And if folk can still listen to R. Kelly after what he did, folk can still watch a Will Smith movie just for slapping Chris Rock. So I'm good with all of that.
Hey, man, Don't go down that rabbit hole. We had a whole show about that. Okay, Bad Boys 4 is starting production. Cool. I really wonder how they're going to do this, though. But I guess we'll see, right?
Why? Why do you wonder?
Are they still going to feature his son like they tried to act like they were in the after credit scene? The Bad Boys for Life?
Oh, this is a whole...
whole...
Everything they do with these tentpole films now is a universe builder. So, hell, we're going to have the Bad Boys. We're going to have Will Smith's son. Hell, we probably going to have... Martin Lawrence kids in the film are old enough to be cops now, right?
Yeah.
Actually,
one of them will probably be
LA's finest.
Exactly.
Sister,
LA's finest is out there with
Gabrielle Union.
What's her name? Gabrielle Union. I forgot that woman's name. Lord have mercy.
And,
D-Wade's old lady.
Jessica Alba.
Yes. We can repeat that. But yeah, so there's going to be a whole Bad Boys universe. There has to be. So I'm waiting for... What's funny is that they didn't cross over with LA's finest. And none of the Bad Boy... Well, one Bad Boy character, the John Sally character, crossed over into
his
LA's
character
finest.
crossed over.
But there was no real... Hopefully, they'll bring in Jessica Alba and Gabrielle Union to kind of tie the whole universe together. I think that would be pretty cool. So, congratulations, Will.
They actually should have.
Yeah, they should have. But, congratulations, Will. You've smacked Chris Rock, and nothing can keep a good man down. We all have bad days. It's just you did yours in front of millions of people on TV. George, I'm a Redskins. Damn. Oh, no, we don't say Redskins anymore. I'm a Commanders fan, so I feel your pain. Can we just call the whole NFC East trash now? Can we just say the whole NFC East is trash?
Hey, man, that might be the theme for tonight based on what I think the lineup is. So we might as well start off with the NFC East. The NFC East is somewhat trash. I'm not going to lie. That's why if we lose one game in it, I'm going to be upset this season.
let's look at this. Let's look at this because the Commanders. I got to get used to saying Commanders. The Commanders are going to be about the same as they were. The Giants are still going to suck. Maybe the Eagles.
I remember them. Yeah.
Okay.
I remember that.
Oh, dude.
Shout out,
Oh, that's your
shout
boy
out to
Bison for
George.
life. Yeah.
Bison for life.
Cool.
Shout out to George. What's up?
George, appreciate you being with us today, George. All right,
Yeah.
so let's get to it. Couple of things came out on Friday. One was extremely good. The other was extremely bad. I'm gonna let you roll the dice, Rod. Which one you want to talk about first, the good or the bad?
You know what? I think it's all bad. So let's go with the bad, and then we can go to the worst.
Wow. Okay. Well, Thor: Love and Thunder came out on Friday, and it was. Okay. Let's start with this. Humor is subjective, right? So,
hey Roy, get that
what
disclaimer
one
ready.
person finds funny, another person won't. Case in point, I thought Chris Rock's G.I. Jane 2 joke was kind of, it made me giggle, but Will Smith did not.
Well, he did at first.
Then
she looked at him.
He did at first, and then she triggered the Winter Soldier.
Wow, he became Bucky Barnes.
November Tango.
Boxcar.
Oh man. So Thor: Love and Thunder came out, and this was. So it turns out that they wanted to make Thor: Love and Thunder like fucking Three's Company, and Thor was Jack Tripper for whatever reason, because it was a comedy of errors. And no, hear me out, Roy. Three's Company was pretty much predicated on Jack Tripper being a physical comedian, John Ritter's physical comedy, the misunderstanding that would always happen between the roommates, and eventually the sexual tension between him and his roommates.
Right.
Thor: Love and Thunder depended on Chris Hemsworth's physical comedy, the misunderstanding between him and Jane Foster, and the sexual tension between him and Jane Foster. The whole Gore the God Butcher thing took a back seat to everything else that was going on between Thor and Jane Foster. We got the origin of Gore the God Butcher at the very beginning of the film. None of that shit was funny. None of it. Then it became a fucking 70s sitcom. Say it again, Roy.
It was rather sad, actually.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah. And that was leading me down the path of, oh shit, this movie's gonna be good. And then Korg got to tell Thor's story. They didn't even utilize the Guardians of the Galaxy to the potential that they could have used them in this film, in my opinion. It was just like, let's throw them in there, couple of one-liners, and they fly off, never to be seen again. It was just like, what was the point of them even being in this film? Other than they put them at the end of Endgame, and kind of they were stuck with them. So Taika Waititi had to use them and then casually throw them away. It didn't make any sense.
Let me know when you're ready.
No, go ahead.
You gonna go ahead, Rod?
I know Rod got him in the chamber.
I think I have the dissenting view, so we're gonna let Rod go.
Oh wow. Okay, come on.
Yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. But okay, so I think that Taika Waititi did a great job of Ragnarok. I think he overstayed his welcome with Love and Thunder.
He did.
There was too much. It was too much effort too much effort put it into trying to make it funny or trying to have jokes like every other scene all the way through the film. You didn't need that much humor. MCU films are known for its humor, but it's not like, nonstop humor, quip all the way through. Well, it shouldn't be anyway. Especially in a situation where you have someone named Gore the God Butcher. Okay, he's killing gods. He's going through the galaxy killing gods. So, at some point, somebody has to take that seriously and really try to do something about it. Um, the whole dynamic between Jane, I love Natalie Portman as Jane Foster. I think she did a great
Right.
job. I knew that she was going to be in it. Before the trailer showed up, I knew that. I knew that. Okay, so let's talk about this name real quick. Lady Thor. Thor is this man's name, right? So how can you be the lady of something? That's like, okay, I'm Rod. I'm doing my thing. I decide I don't want to do my thing anymore. So
Hmm.
a woman comes up and says, I'm Rod. I'm the mighty Rod. What? That's my name. You can't call, you can't call yourself my name.
Right. Right.
Call her something else, right? So on that note, I still do want to say that they did a really good job in the beginning showing Thor's progression. Like they showed the original costume as he's running through the woods. They showed the original
Right.
costume. They showed um the costume that came after that, and then they showed the Thunderstrike costume where he had a red vest. That's the Eric Masterson Thunderstrike. So shout out to that. And then they showed
Yep.
his costume from when Donny Cates was doing Thor. So they showed the more of like the cosmic type uniform or cosmic type costume, which was really cool. So that was a good part of it. I liked that a lot. I liked the battle scenes. Fight scenes were cool.
Yep.
But again, going back to the construction of the film itself, like the way it's written, Thor is a hero. Thor does heroic things. Thor doesn't. Thor isn't a goof. If you look at the beginning of Thor, when you look at Kenneth Branagh's Thor, he's a Shakespearean actor. He's a director. He's going to do how he does, right? But Thor is seen as arrogant, needing to be taken down a peg. But above all, he is pretty masculine. He's a hero, right? So now we see changes of that. We see the changes through Avengers. We see changes through Thor: The Dark World, kind of, sort of. But then we see in Ragnarok, we see a lot of the goofiness, man, and we see a
Hmm.
lot of the just being a comedic. It's like trying to be a comedic giant for no reason. Let the man be heroic. Let him take up his weapon and knock people out with it. Everything doesn't have to
Well,
be he doesn't have to be goofy Thor. Thor was never
I
goofy.
think I think where Marvel at the beginning, Marvel's strongest point was they made the films, and the humor was organic through the films. There were spots where it didn't take itself as seriously, whereas DC wanted to be, this dark brooding, I'm Batman, and that, which is fine. But then you come along and have Superman, I'm Superman. It's like, no, Superman isn't dark and brooding like that. But Marvel would have spots of humor here and there just to keep it light, just to keep it family friendly. And I think that, like you said, Taika took it overboard with Thor and just lost his damn mind. And it was just like, okay, it's a good point is, and we were talking before, is that you're starting to see the director's visions come through. Before, Marvel films were cookie cutter, and all the Marvel films followed a very precise outline. But with Eternals, with Multiverse of Madness, and now with Thor, you're seeing the director's
Girl power
points of
Jane.
view. Right. You're seeing the director's points of view come through a lot more. And Taika Waititi is goofy. Like you said, he's goofy. So the goofiness is going to come through. Like you had the horror aspect come out of Multiverse of Madness to varying effect. And then the you saw an living dead version of Marvel with Multiverse of Madness, and
Yeah,
that was
Sam
very
Raimi
much a
did his
Sam Raimi film,
yeah
very
did his
much a
Evil
Sam
Dead
Raimi
thing
film.
in there, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I said Living Dead, Evil Dead. So with this, you're seeing Taika Waititi's full personality come through. Roy, I know you're chomping at the bit because you have a dissenting opinion on this.
Oh, Roy, before you go, bro, one more thing. Zeus walking down the stairs holding his skirt. Or his tunic. Horrible.
So.
Garbaji. Okay, go.
So. Tekawati says that
Taika Waititi.
You said Taika Waititi. You better talk about him like you talk about me mispronouncing that man's name.
Well, I'm doing it on purpose, but
nah, man,
I do too.
So here's the first
name right
thing.
before you start talking trash.
I'm not gonna talk trash actually. So
complimenting him.
Here's the first thing. I went into it like I saw most people do the thing where they said, go into this expecting a comedy. Do not go into this thing expecting.
Who said that?
I saw 3 different E-Man Reviews was the first one that said it. They were like, do not go in looking for this to be a Marvel cinematic thing that we're used to. They said this is straight comedy. So I went in with that assumption.
I missed that memo. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was a good thing about me. That was a good thing about me seeing it. But
I went into a superhero movie looking for superheroics. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did. Wrong answer for this one. Because somebody, I'm trying to see who it was. I think it was James that said the thing they have really screwed up with is that he's right. After Ragnarok, it was going to be very difficult to not make Thor the comedic relief in this group of people that they're doing. Because whatever Avenger shows up, he's still going to be around. Because he's an immortal god. He's only 1,500 years old. You know, he's still got a whole lot of life to live. So he should be around and engaged in the process. Now, so that's my first thing. That it wasn't bad, but I went into it looking for a comedy. I didn't even go into it looking for it to be the standard Marvel movie. I think that's one of the failings and one of the problems that they've had with Phase 4 is they had the whole Phase 4 thing already set out, and Phase 4 really didn't build up to whoever the next big bad is going to be. Like whenever we get the next phase, whether it's Secret Invasion, whether it's Armor War, whatever the next major thing, Kang the Conqueror, whoever, Phase 4 is like going to be this little clip that you can literally snatch the hell out of the set of movies and won't have nothing to do with nothing else. Like it literally stands alone and won't have anything to do with it. And I think they're probably doing that one just kind of as a way to roll some stuff around. Now, with that being said, my critiques of the movie, you were absolutely right. The shit that they did with the gods looked just ridiculous. It's like all of that was totally ridiculous. And it took, I guess, Thor, quote-unquote, embarrassing them. And, I'm about to get into some spoiler stuff. Didn't this just happen Friday? It's on YouTube.
Yeah,
They'll be all right. It'll be all right because it's on YouTube at this point. The end credit scene. I mean, you know, the thing where he's bringing them in is like now they're going to turn these gods into these petty people is what it looks like. And now it's going to probably end up, Rod, being what you're talking about, looking for more heroic type stuff from our heroes in this system. The other thing that I heard, and of course in today's society that we have, and especially with it being Disney, apparently, Taika, did I say it right that time?
Taika.
Okay, because I actually want to say it right now. They said there was a 4-hour, the original cut of this thing was 4 hours. So we're on some more.
That shit wasn't going to pass.
But right, he knew it.
4 hours?
Yeah, dude. And apparently they took out at least 2 other scenes with them and the Guardians fighting on other planets. And they took out a bunch of gore killing other gods, actually showing that happening. So
that's what we needed to see.
Yeah, so
right.
Yeah,
I didn't need to see screaming goats.
Yeah, they did kind of get to you with the screaming goats after a while. So, but you know that I think that's what they're gonna do eventually. You know, they'll bring out the director's cut. It'll get it'll get millions and millions of views. It'll change some people's perception of the movie. But I really think they do need to do something with Thor that is going to that is going to I hate to use the word redeem the character, but reset the character as somebody more, like you said, more serious. than what they've turned him into. Because Thor has become comic relief. I mean, in the discussion, that's really what it is.
And we have four
So,
Thor films, and we haven't had Beta Ray Bill yet. Everybody keeps
before we go any
asking for this
further,
guy.
Hi Uncle Percy. Saw you sneak in there.
He
I
froze up
think
right
he's
quick.
stuck
Might
now.
be froze.
That's okay. Maybe he'll come back.
And George, you're right.
But
Phase 4 has been, just like I said, it's just jacked up.
But I think that with Phase 4, I think Marvel's strategy with Phase 4 is that they're slowly trying to reestablish who's the top dogs, who's top tier. For the first three phases, it was Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor. Those were your cornerstones of Marvel for the first three phases. Now we're scrambling trying to find the cornerstones for this next phase or whatever they're trying to do with these films. I would guess that Spider-Man, if Spider-Man wasn't partially owned by Sony, I would say Spider-Man is one of them. But because he's partially owned by another company, I'm leery to say that. I would love if Black Panther would be, but we don't know who Black Panther is going to be at this point. So you can't necessarily rule him as part of it. It's one of the women, one or more women will be considered cornerstone. I would love to say Captain Marvel, but Brie Larson is such a, I don't want to say terrible actress, but
have you heard the
not very
rumors that
good in
she's
that
been
role.
replaced? Or she's going to be replaced?
Well, have you seen today's episode of
Yes,
Miss Marvel?
I did.
So I don't think those are true.
But I think this was, remember, I think this was already done before they started making those comments about that.
But why would they replace her?
Because people are saying the same thing that you do, that she sucks. I mean, you're not alone in that sentiment, so.
I really
but
feel like
I would
I
be hesitant. I would be hesitant to replace her after one film, after one major film with her.
Yeah,
Like
but she's
if the
been in
Marvels
5.
comes out, if she, but very minor parts. She's had one major film, and what Marvel has done, I think their casting, they would be hesitant to replace her after her one major appearance, her headlining film, because that'd be like replacing Chris Hemsworth in Thor, because Thor wasn't considered that strong a Marvel film. Although Chris Hemsworth is a much better actor. I think they'll give her at least the Marvels to see if she can find her footing with it. But, who am I? But Marvel has so far, except for this past film, except for Thor, Marvel's done a pretty good job of what they've been doing with the films. And, this film. And Heidi, to your point, I don't think any of us have an issue with girl power. It's just that the jokes weren't funny. And again, comedy is subjective. So, as a perfect example, Zeus, as the father of all gods, should not be comic relief. Zeus
I
should
hated
be
that.
a strong. And again, spoiler warning. We don't give a fuck about y'all feelings. The mid-credit scene with Zeus was Zeus. That was the Zeus that we are expecting. The Zeus during the film was not the Zeus that we're expecting or should have gotten. That's not. Taika went overboard with that humor shit. Uncle Percy, you with? I think he froze again. There he is. Uncle Percy, what's good, man?
No, he's moving. He's good.
Let's keep talking right now. He can't say nothing. So,
Thor sucks.
Okay,
That's all I got.
there we go.
There you go.
Okay.
That's the name of this show. Grumpy Old Nerd.
So Percy,
yes,
would you say it was trash?
You know what? What is it about Marvel in the third movie? What is it about Marvel in the third movie of that particular character? Iron Man 3 could have been a hell of a good movie if they just stuck with the script of the man and start making him a comic relief.
True.
Now you got
Thor was good. That was Ragnarok.
Well, the fourth one. Who gives a fuck? Third, fourth,
Nah,
whatever.
you know what though? I think that Ragnarok got help because the Dark World was kind of iffy.
No, the Dark World sucked.
But it's something about Marvel doing this on purpose to make us just like, what the hell are they thinking about making this movie so comical? Because the storyline was good. I actually liked the storyline to the movie. It was just too many jokes. You made there's just certain characters you just don't fool around with. It's okay that Thor he can crack a couple of jokes. You know he's still in love with old girl and all that stuff, and she dying at the end, and it was a good storyline. It was just too many jokes, it just wasn't serious enough towards the end. So that's just me.
So
You
I
know.
think also one of my major complaints was that, and Heidi, I hear what you're saying about the whole woman feminist thing, and but I would like to see more films. I would have liked to have seen more films with Jane Foster, and they ended up killing her.
Yeah.
Like in the
Yeah.
comics,
But
the Jane has cancer storyline. She goes on for quite some time, and we get a movie where clearly this was to wrap up the Jane Foster storyline because we get her
are you
as
sure?
Thor. She's in Valhalla with Heimdall.
Are
with
you
Heimdall.
are you
Yeah, but that doesn't mean
are you
anything.
sure?
But
Right.
see, no, that's what I
Okay,
actually
so
that's what I said after that movie. I think they're actually going
mhm.
to bring both of those characters back because of the fact
Yeah.
that we're bringing
Really,
because they're bringing the gods into it now. Like I
Right.
think that Thor stuff is going to end up being like Thor's probably going to honestly get a. I think it's going to get a side thing from whatever the Kang stuff is that we're about to get for everybody else. There's gonna be something that happens with the gods coming in, and I think that's gonna probably be honestly, I think that's gonna be the way that they redeem the Thor character as y'all are talking about, and making him less comical and more back into a serious situation. Cause like I said, that's from that post credit scene with Zeus and Hercules. You know, Hercules was always supposed to be a hero. Well, Zeus sounded like he about to send him down there to kick some human ass. You know,
And I got a question about that too. Cause isn't Hercules a DC character? Wasn't Hercules part of
no,
the whole?
no,
He
no.
wasn't.
So
no.
here, no. It's not that he isn't, because yes, he is. What it is that the Greek mythology characters, they're they don't have
Yeah,
they don't have
they're not
exclusive.
copyrighted.
Yeah, they can't
Yeah.
copyright them. Is what it is. So he was Hercules is in DC because all of them were Zeus, Wonder Woman, because Zeus
Yeah.
is
Right.
her father.
Yeah,
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 Right.
yeah. So it's still stupid, and that film was not successful in my eyes, and I'm mad at Taika for taking it. It just seems that they can't get the character of Thor right. They've got a
It
great
would have been
actor in Chris Hemsworth.
yeah, it would have been
Go
cool
ahead,
Well,
if
it's
they
just
Rod.
like
showed Khonshu with those gods, right?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
showed Khonshu,
yeah.
Bast.
yeah. All of those gods. They're religious history. They are part of things. So it's like public domain is basically what they are. Anybody can use those characters if they want to. Like you can start a whole new universe and use those Greek gods as your Greek and Roman gods as your base.
yeah. But Thor, Love and
They're
Thunder,
gonna have to start
regardless of
tying
whether
stuff
you
together
went into it,
fast.
regardless of whether you went into it expecting a comedy or not, it just wasn't funny and it wasn't good. And Taika lost his damn mind. So yeah, Rod, the next Thor film has to be his redemption, or the next time we see Thor has to be his redemption because this wasn't it. But also on Friday, we got The Boys, which was head and shoulders above that other shit that Marvel tried to give us. We got the conclusion to this season. We got to finally get this all out fight between Homelander, between Soldier Boy, Maeve, Starlight got into it. Butcher with his temp V got into it. I think this was, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel that this was about as satisfying an ending to this season. This season was probably the best season yet.
It was kind of
I
like
think it
they're
was a
going.
fitting ending.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Percy.
It seems like they're going towards like a invincible type of storyline in the next season.
What do you mean?
You know. Well, the son is now with the father. He's kind of digging the whole thing. The father, the what the father's doing and all that stuff.
Entitled white
But
guy.
I
Go
got
ahead and say it.
yeah, and I got a strange feeling
Wow.
he's gonna turn on him and become good, all around a good kid. It
His
just
son.
seemed to me it's gonna be yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think the son is gonna find out what's going on, and and I think he's gonna turn on him in the next season if they have another
Well,
season.
I don't know about
Should
that
have another season.
because this show, if nothing else, this show likes to keep you on your toes, and the son
Mm.
eventually turning against the father would be the righteous thing to do.
It
But
would also be the typical
it
thing to
just
do, which
seems
is
that
why they may not do it.
yeah, that falls too much along the lines of the classic comic book trope, which the boys tries to fly away from. They give us our violence porn, where you get blood and guts splattered all over the place, and you also get the porn, where everybody's screwing. But it,
Hero gasm.
the boy, go ahead, person.
No, he
No,
just
I just
said
say
hero
hero
gasm
gasm.
again.
Yeah, I mean, just the boys. I would be disappointed if the son turned on the dad. To be very honest, because I would expect more of the boys, a much more complicated scenario. Um, but
Well,
let's
his
talk
stuff.
about
His
let,
stepfather's dying, so that's gonna have to pay. That's gonna pull some heartstrings on him or something. Something's gonna go down where he's gonna have to
well
turn on.
that's what I want to talk about too. Is that Butcher is on the clock in terms of
Right.
if he's going to survive too much longer. We got a
Yeah,
great
he's
fight
got about
between
a
him
year.
and Soldier Boy. Yeah, so we got the group back together. The boys are back together. The female has her powers back. Butcher has a short time to live. Mother's Milk is still crazy, and
He's
Frenchie
getting
is still
better though.
annoying. Well,
Mother's Milk has made some
has he?
steps. Yeah, he's made a
Well,
couple of
now
steps toward get better.
Yeah, yeah. Did you
he's
not
made
see the
some
scene with his
steps.
daughter?
But he's made some steps. But old boy who married his wife is now like a full on Homelander supporter.
Yep.
An
So
entitled
now
white
he's gonna
guy.
have to go on.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah,
dude might
yeah,
end up getting killed. He's gonna end up getting
absolutely,
killed. Yeah.
100%, hundred
I
percent.
don't know if Mother's Milk is gonna
So,
do it, but that dude's gonna end up getting killed.
well, I would hope that Mother's Milk wouldn't do it because Mother's Milk, he's one
Yeah.
of the few characters who doesn't have. Well, he's got blood on his hands, but he hasn't compromised his values as such. Um,
Right.
I would love to see A Train die though. He's
Really?
got to go.
He's
Wow, that's brutal.
Yeah,
he,
I would
he's
love to see
he's
him
not
die.
going nowhere. Because you want to know why?
He's got to
He's
get a.
not going nowhere because he's taking over Volt. He's going to take over the company.
A Train?
Yep.
You think so? I
Yep.
think he has a redemption arc coming. I think the conversation with his brother at the end is going to be that tipping point for him. Now, ironically though, and you guys have mentioned this before, and this is to Percy's point, he may start thinking about the fact, yeah, you know what? I done ran through a couple of people already and blew their ass up. Homelander, you might want to step the hell back.
Right.
Because because you think about it, if he catch Homelander off guard, like I said, he learned to vibrate and can get into his stuff. You never know what he may be capable of doing.
Because what did old girl tell him? Didn't she tell him the reason why Highlander does stuff to him to keep him in his place? Because I think deep down, Highlander, he's scared of him.
I mean,
You think
Homelander.
Homelander's
Homelander.
afraid of A Train?
I mean, if you
Yeah,
think
I
about
think
it, like you said, if you think about it, the power set, and y'all have made this point. I believe both you and John have made it. It's like if you think of the speedsters true or what we've seen in other speedsters power sets,
Right. Right.
he could be dangerous to Homelander.
Absolutely.
You know.
But
So
he's so quick to suck Homelander's dick at every capable opportunity.
But I think it's like everybody's saying. I think it's changing now because they're telling him. Certain people are telling him, you know why he's doing it to you to keep you in your place, so you would not challenge him because it
right.
Right.
would it would be a
Okay.
it would be a hell of a
Okay.
fight. And at this point, Homelander is so scared because he don't know who is. He know his father can beat his ass. So he's probably sitting back, and then old girl who claims she's lost her powers is now in hiding. I think she's coming back.
Who?
The Wonder Woman.
Maeve.
The
Oh no
Wonder
no
Woman.
no! She's just
Maeve.
recuperating. Yeah, she didn't lose her
Right.
powers, did she?
She said
No,
she
she
lost
lost
her
her
power.
powers.
Oh, she did.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
that's what Soldier Boy does now. When he explodes like that, whoever the soup is who
Who's
he
near
aims at
him?
force at, they lose their powers. That's what
Oh,
happened to the female
That's what, yeah, that's happened to the
when
female.
when he when he
okay.
blasted her. But
But I
now
thought
also
I
the
thought
female
that was
got
a
her powers
different.
back.
I was about to say I thought that was a different situation though because didn't she? She was one of those people who was given her powers, but isn't Maeve one of the ones who was like dealt with as a child or something? That went through that same process that old girl that Starlight went through as a child. Okay, well, I guess.
Yeah, she did, but the female I think also got her powers when she was younger.
Kimiko. Can we please call her Kimiko?
Kimiko.
Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
what they call her in the
no,
comics,
she's
female.
she's called her the female in the comics.
Okay, I ain't read the comics. Frenchie called her Kimiko. Kimiko.
Kimiko.
My sweetheart.
Okay.
Kimiko. Very bad French accent.
This isn't one of those times when I forgot somebody's name. They're like literally they call her the female in the comics. Yeah. Okay,
Right.
Kimiko. But yeah, so it stands to reason that Maeve's powers are gone, but she can always get them back. All she just needs
Right.
is some
The actual
V.
right, the V compound.
Yeah, she has to get an injection of
The
V in
blue V.
her spinal cord column.
Right.
If she
And
wants
you know
to.
this isn't the last of Soldier Boy. You know Soldier Boy's going to
What?
come back.
Yeah, because they carted him off with the whatever gas thing over his face. But yep, the fact that they showed him to me says that you know he's coming back at some point.
You know what
If it
endeared me to
goes that
Soldier
long.
Boy? Yeah, you know what endeared me to Soldier Boy the most? I think it was last week's episode where he was whacking off to these two old ladies. He was just like, boy, that's just a vintage fine wine. I was like, and that in and of itself is what makes us the boy so endearing is because they'll take these superhero tropes. Just when you think they're going one way, they go another way. Like he's just like, you know what? I ain't got nothing for these little young girls. And give me some old.
He's
Hooch.
a totally
good with
warped version of Steve Rogers. It's
Right.
not even funny.
Yes.
It's like they took
Yes.
everything they could find about Steve Rogers, and at every opportunity they was gonna fuck with it.
Absolutely.
Merciless.
Absolutely. So
Instead
one
of
thing I
being
was
ultra
disappointed with is
patriotic,
that
he's damn near fascist.
One thing I was a little disappointed with is that Noir is gone. They killed Noir off.
Yeah, he
I
did.
thought that he would be around for a minute.
Yeah, that was
What'd you
that.
say, Roy?
Yeah, I said yeah, he did. I was like, I was completely surprised at that whole process too, because of the fact at one it made you think that the way they built that up is like that he at least may have been able to fight with him a little bit, but hell,
Right.
Homelander like punched him in the stomach, took his stomach out. It's like damn, it's like ooh.
I mean, Black Noir and Homelander. I don't think that would have been unless Noir has him in an enclosed space in the dark. That was not going to be too much of a fight.
Well, it didn't get to be no fight at all.
Yeah.
Didn't have a choice.
And
Once
to be
he
honest,
said,
I thought he would
once
get
said,
into
I
a
can
fight
see
more
you.
with Soldier Boy.
But I guess. Well, no, that's what I thought too. Yeah, so I think that was part of the thing because Soldier Boy knew that Black Noir knew he was getting prepared for him. Everybody else he was able to catch off guard. He knew Black Noir was coming for him, or at least knew he was coming. So the easiest way for him to die is to get his son to do it. When he realized he's like, hey, this is what I want you to do for me. You kill this one that I can't get next to, but apparently he's your boy, blah, 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 whatever. So, and it's funny because they even showed Homelander having some kind of, looked like he was disappointed he had to kill his boy. He got a little misty.
Yeah, it was a little. He had to show a little remorse.
He was disappointed, but I think that was tempered by the fact that when he wanted to count on Noir the most, Noir left. Like Noir was like, "Look, Soldier Boy about to try and come kill me. I'm about to bounce." And then he came
That scene
back,
in the
and then he
elevator
also
was
found out
classic.
that. Yeah. And then also that Black Noir knew that Soldier Boy was still alive,
Right.
and Black Noir had a hand in Soldier Boy being captured by the Russians. I think Homelander was just like, "No, you gotta die. You my man, but I'm gonna have to rip out your stomach real quick just to make sure you don't double cross me. So,
So
I
unless
mean,
Vought has some cloning technology we don't know about, he's done.
So, but let me ask y'all this: don't you think that they wrapped up the whole Huey Starlight situation really kind of quickly with Huey having betrayed Starlight the way that he did, and it was just like they were on the outs, and then that last episode is like, oh, you know what? Never mind, I forgive you. I'm sorry, I love you.
Well, no, I don't. I thought about that. No, I'm gonna tell you why though, because Rod already laughing at me. Because I don't. Not necessarily they wrapped it up quick. I think they brought it back to what we expected it to be. Because I think what it is with Huey, Huey was having an ego problem, is what was going on, and it was like I'm dating a super, and she's always saving me, but like damn it, I gotta remember I work around trying to stop supers, and I ain't got no damn powers. And right when he was about to jump in there, and he like, oh, I want to save her, I want to save her. Let me put this stuff on, and then flash into the room and be butt naked, and then flash out again. And instead of just distracting people, like, dude, what the hell are you doing? He used his brain. Huey's always, from what we've gathered, Huey's always been an intelligent guy. He just had a tragic intro. So with the first thing he did, he's like, hell, they're in a studio. My girl gets her power from light. Let me turn up all the damn lights. That was one of the moments where it's like, I'm going to help her save us by supporting her in who she is.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that was a good way to bring their arc back to where it should have been. Okay. Because it actually confused me. Because hell, I thought that Butcher, and we'll get to this I'm sure, but I thought Butcher's ass was dead after that last fight, personally. Just because of him using the Temp V again.
Well, I mean, it shows. Butcher, you look at the end, you see the aftermath of it, and the doctor says you pretty much, you got a year left. So.
Oh, okay, I missed that part of the conversation. Okay.
And then of course when he was in a coma for 20 minutes going through his past, I think that changed his attitude too.
Yeah, that definitely affected him.
Yeah, because he knocked out Huey before that final fight with Homelander. He knocked out Huey and pretty much wanted to keep him from fighting, and using Temp V again. So yeah, Butcher, you want to say he's gotten a little bit softer, but Butcher is an asshole through and through. So
I think he just chooses points in which he deviates from asshole mode and just does something. He picks and chooses his points in which he does that.
Okay. Yeah, it was. I want to say that whatever Thor missed, the boys hit on correctly, because they gave you a little bit of humor in the context of what was going on, but at the end of the day, it was like bloody ass superhero battles, which is, let's be honest, that's what we're here for. That's what we want to see. We want to see superheroes kicking ass.
But when I look at this world, it makes me wonder, okay, are there any powered individuals that actually do what we think superheroes should do? Or are they all so jacked up that they don't do anything close to what we think they're supposed to be doing?
Well, so to that point, I thought that's what Maeve was supposed to be. And I thought that's what she was going to become. Because remember, from our specific point, we realized that whoever it was, somebody said it to Homelander. It's like everybody's just scared of you.
Right.
And once Maeve got to the point, and once Maeve got to the point, she was like, you know what? Fuck you, Homelander. We gonna let's take this thing to whatever we need to take it to.
She almost whooped his ass.
Right. She was hanging in there. I mean, he may have been holding back. He may have been holding back, but because he was like trying to get. He was trying to get to old boy. He was like, Maeve, get the hell out of the way. Let me do what I got to do.
Yeah. Look, that's exactly what he said. He's like, now, Maeve, I'm trying to get. She did make him bleed. You're right, but that was because his energy was focused on trying to get the Soldier Boy, and he was just like, okay, you getting a couple good shots in. But once she made him bleed, he was like, okay, I'm about to pop that eyeball real quick. And that's a wrap.
That wasn't a wrap. She came right back. She came right back and fought him.
I mean, yeah, Maeve. So I guess because
Then
their
she stuck it.
analogies are Superman and Wonder Woman,
Right.
And then she stuck it in the ear.
you wanna believe that Maeve would have been able to hold her own, and I guess you're right, person. She would have hold her. She'd be able to hold her own. So no, I see what you're saying, but now her powers are gone. So where does that leave? And now you've got home, and we got to talk about the scene where the guy was heckling Homelander, and Homelander blew his head up, and the crowd was like, "Yeah!"
Oh wait! Did you notice who was the first person to yell?
Yeah.
The Mother's Milk's wife's husband.
No, I thought I saw the black guy yell first, and then he jumped in.
It was Mother's Milk's.
So the black guy must have been sucking then. Okay.
Yeah. And everybody else was horrified until he started cheering about it.
Until he started saying, "Yeah!"
And then everybody else like followed behind him, just like sheep. It was like, "Yeah, that was great."
Protecting his son.
This show's ultra political, and I don't even think people realize it. How political this show really is.
Oh man, that was spot on, wasn't it? That was spot on.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if people are really understanding and really seeing like how it parallels real life in a lot of ways. But I'm sure the writers understand that. The writers are doing a good job of showing that. But I don't know if the average person just watching it just realizes what's happening.
Now, that's hilarious that on so many levels the boys hit the right mark. And I hate to keep going back to Thor Love and Thunder, but Thor Love and Thunder was just like every mark they tried to hit, they missed completely. And the boys go ahead, Percy.
At the end, I thought the hammer was destroyed. I thought Jane Foster destroyed the hammer.
So that's another scene they cut out. Oh, you said at the end.
At the end, when she destroyed the sword and she destroyed the hammer. That's why she died at the end, because she lost the hammer.
No. She died at the end because apparently her using Milnor, or did I say that right again?
Mjolnir.
Yeah, that one. Right. Her using the hammer is actually what was breaking down her human defense system. So I don't think that was part of the original story. I think that's what they just used in this, because that's what Thor was saying. He was like, "Don't do that. Don't keep using it, because we want to try to have some time together." But it was her using Mjolnir was the problem for her, because when she reverted to her human form, it took away her power. It was taking away her actual immune system. And so it wasn't... No, she didn't. Remember? They used the hammer actually is what ended up destroying Gore in the thing, because it brought the pieces... It's like it brought the pieces of his sword into her, the necromancer sword, into it, and then it shot it out or something through her, didn't it?
It did take pieces of the necro sword.
Yeah.
I thought she slammed it on the ground and it broke into pieces.
She did that first, and then afterwards, that's how they destroyed him. The sword itself actually destroyed him, because the pieces first went into Mjolnir, and then they came back out and hit him. That was after she did the thing with the hammer, where she shattered it.
Still sounds like bullshit.
Right.
Yeah.
So I believe Mjolnir is still around.
Yeah.
So does his daughter becomes? Don't she becomes a Thor? She becomes a Thunder God.
I don't know where they were going with Gore's daughter. I don't know where they were going.
Yeah, that was kind of off. That whole thing threw me completely off when they did the whole daughter. I was like, what the hell? And so,
what the hell is Thor doing trying to raise a child? That's the first thing
I
thought.
Right. I mean, he goes from swinging bachelor to all of a sudden being entrusted with this guy's daughter. That's why I initially thought that Jane was going to be around and she was going to take the kid.
That young actress is Chris Hemsworth's daughter.
So that is actually his daughter? Okay.
Whatever he wants to do with her, she will be a part of the Thor mythos now. So membership has its privileges. So
because his wife
now
didn't his wife even had a cameo.
His wife was the wolf woman that Thor was making out with on top of the giant wolf.
Oh, that's who she was? Okay.
So this is what happened. Marvel said, we lost Robert Downey Jr., we lost Chris Evans. We got to keep one of them. What do you want, Chris? Oh, well, I would like my wife and daughter to be a part of this Marvel universe. Done.
And the son.
Sure,
Don't forget the son. And the son.
Right. And the son.
Because the son was him. The son was him. Was the young version of him when they were doing the thing, running through the woods.
Oh, was he?
Yep.
Yeah.
So everybody getting a paycheck. I ain't mad at him. Good for you, Chris Hemsworth. Put the whole family on payroll. That's what you're supposed to do.
Well, if you're the executive producer, I guess you can do that too.
Yeah, which he was.
And the star.
So now we have two weapons that Thor can, act as if he's in relationships with. So there's two weapons, right? That he can talk to.
Hammer.
He can now give one away, and James keeps saying they can't do Beta Ray Bill till they get the CGI right. They got to get it right, James. They got to get this shit right, because one of those weapons, Stormbreaker, has to go to Beta Ray Bill. If I don't see Beta Ray Bill in the next Thor film,
that's true.
I'm gonna have a serious problem.
So I'm writing a letter to Taiki, Chris, and Kevin Feige, and letting them know that Rod's gonna kick him in the neck if Beta Ray Bill isn't in the next film.
and where's Zeus
that
Lightning
email
Bolt?
is on the way. Say it again.
Where's Zeus Lightning Bolt?
Yeah, that's right. Thor had it last.
Who knows? Okay. I thought we were done with that shit. To hell with Love and Thunder.
We went back to it. All right, what's next on the agenda, sir?
Let's talk about talk about fucked up shit. Let's talk about Miss Marvel now. So
see, I told you. Didn't I tell you this episode?
But
look, the trailers for this week's episode was this grand thing where they said everything will change. This episode will change everything with Miss Marvel.
Right.
No. What changed?
Dude, it's the end credit scene.
Right.
That's what changed. That's what their expectation was. It was the end. That's what was supposed to change everything.
I take that, but I guarantee you they're talking about at the end of the episode. First of all, we haven't even talked about that bland ass episode to begin with, which it was bland.
I haven't seen it, so I can't say shit. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. So at the end of, do you mind? We spoil shit.
Man. It's fine. It's fine.
So one of the lines toward the end of the episode is Bruno tells Kamala that he was studying her DNA. How this teenage motherfucker was studying DNA, I'll never even begin to find.
He's a genius. No, he's a genius.
Geniuses in the Marvel universe.
He's a genius.
He's a genius. There are so many geniuses in the Marvel universe right now. Everybody's a fucking genius.
And that's why he's going to California. That's why he's leaving.
Right, he's going to Caltech.
We're studying her DNA.
You got to remember.
And he said that it wasn't.
To go too.
So Bruno was studying her DNA, and he said that she could access the Noor, but there was something in her definite genetics that was a mutation.
Right.
Now, remember when he said mutation, the music swelled and shit.
You heard the X-Men.
So, is this right? Is she a mutant? Is that what is that supposed to change everything?
Well, remember they actually did say that that was one of the things that was going to happen in this, them changing her power set. That was actually part of all this stuff, that her power set was going to be changed from what it initially was in the books, even in her origin story, even though she's relatively a new character.
They didn't have to do that. Did they really make her a mutant?
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck.
Rod, so this has gotten the reaction from Rod. Rod, why the reaction like this?
She was already in the comics. She's already an Inhuman.
See, then that probably explains it, because the Inhumans sucked and nobody wanted anything to do with them anymore. That makes sense now. Okay. Yeah, don't make her an Inhuman.
But if you're not going to use it, and if you're not going to use them anymore, or you can still refer to people as Inhumans. She might have been the one
I
that was
don't
going to
know.
redeem the whole damn set.
I don't
As opposed to
know.
Clandestine, a comic that I thought I was the only one that collected the Clandestine comic series. Apparently,
So okay,
I
so
didn't collect it. I knew of it though.
that's what I was about to say.
I
I
collected
never heard
As
of
a
it.
matter of fact, I was at SuperCon this past weekend in Miami, and there was a bookseller from Ohio that had trade paperbacks of the Clandestine.
wow.
And
I
I
bet
was
they were
like,
selling like crazy too, weren't they?
no, hell no. People didn't know they were there. Here's a trade
Wow.
paperback for $8. I should have bought it. Now looking back on it, I should have gotten it.
The only reason that I bought the Clandestine series was because Alan Davis. Alan Davis is one of my favorite artists. So he wrote and drew that series. And I was like, okay. And it was a cool little series. But the Clandestine from the comics is nothing like the
Nothing
Clandestine
like the
in Miss
yeah,
Marvel.
nothing like the
And the
So
gem
give
fact
me
that they're
in
give,
Miss
trying
Marvel.
give me the Cliff Notes versions because I have no clue about who these clandestines are. I thought that was something that they
so
made up just for the movie or the show.
the clan the Clandestine is supposedly a family of, for worst comes to worst, a family of genies, and they've been operating for centuries, and they are like their own little superhero. They're supposed to be the genies, what the X-Men are the mutants, essentially.
Oh, okay.
And one of the characters, and the reason one of the characters in the Clandestine is actually blue. And if you remember, whenever they got that bangle from that character from the tomb, they got it off a corpse
A
that was
blue
blue, and I
arm.
was like,
Yeah.
"Oh shit, this is supposed to be who they're tied into." But like I said,
Hey,
I think me and five other people read this whole comic line.
hey, did you guys notice, by the way, in the first episode of Ms. Marvel when they were in that tomb, what was on the floor?
10 rings.
The 10 rings.
Ten
Yeah.
rings, yeah,
Yeah, the
which
ten
is
rings was carved into the floor.
okay.
So
So now we've got the
Wen Wu has
Mandarin.
something to do with it.
Okay, but
I think
Miss
that was just.
Marvel.
I thought that was just a tie-in, just to kind of give people the idea of something.
So
Give them it's a
I wanted
WandaVision,
to enjoy.
WandaVision
I
trope.
wanted I wanted I wanted to enjoy Miss Marvel. I really wanted to enjoy Miss Marvel, but I found myself, as I did with WandaVision, leaving Miss Marvel each episode like, okay, what's the surprise? What's the surprise? As opposed to really enjoying the episode for what it was. And then to throw out that she may be a mutant, and to throw out in the mid-credit scene where she and Captain Marvel switch places. I'm like, okay, so they can't even. They're not relying on the content itself. They're relying
Oh,
on
switch places.
surprises.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
gonna
they switch
be.
places.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is that. That's gonna
They're setting
be
up for
the Marvels. They're setting up for that movie.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so what you
yeah.
mean, like they switch bodies or something?
No.
So
I don't think they switch bodies. I think it's
Miss
physically.
Miss Marvel is sitting in her room. The bangle starts to glow. She stands up, splish splash, flip flop, kablooey, alakazam. She gets blown into her closet, and Captain Marvel steps out. Captain Marvel looks around the room, and she's like, "Oh no, 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 no," and then runs away, and that's it. So they've switched spatial presence. Or
Like
whatever.
Right.
basically wherever Miss Marvel or wherever Carol Danvers was, she got sucked into
That's
Miss
what.
Marvel's place, and we assume that Miss Marvel got sucked into her wherever she was in the universe.
Okay, okay, because I was gonna say that might have been a callback to the comics because you know when Marvel had the Negabands, he would switch places with Rick Jones,
Right.
and Rick Jones, and he would Rick Jones would go to the negative zone while Marvel
So
was on Earth. So I thought it was a callback to that, but maybe not.
now that I didn't
Well,
think about that, but that's an
yeah,
interesting concept.
because
But
they don't show what
I
happened
want
to
wow,
Kamala. Yeah, we don't know
No.
what happened to Kamala. So
wow, that's actually wow. Okay, Rod, that's a pretty decent. Okay, that's a pretty decent theory. Although I don't think that's correct, but
Yeah,
the
James
oh,
said
the
basically
James
the
said
coalition.
this.
same thing.
James
Yeah.
said it's in the comics. She actually turns into Captain Marvel in the comics.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Oh, well, thank you, James.
Okay. Right, because I had never seen it before.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. Although, like you said, the whole Negabands connection, I get that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because remember, they used to
wow,
switch
interesting
places.
concept. Well, that's
And they
nice.
were of Kree design. So you know what? Those 10 rings might have been from the Kree as well.
Mm.
They didn't really
So the
say,
Ten
but
Rings are from
no, because when they examined them at the end of Shang-Chi, they said
right,
they didn't know where it came from, and Carol was part of that
right.
investigation. So
Yeah, and they said
they're not,
What?
they're
Come
not
on,
they
Kree
were
in
Rod.
origin.
millions of years. Yeah, they said they were much older.
Yeah, they're not Kree in
Come
origin,
on,
so
Rod.
that's something else.
Rod. Rod just put us all in our place right there. Thank you, Rod. And didn't even see the episode.
Doesn't
So now
Mephisto
let's check it
show
out.
up sooner or later?
Doesn't
What you
what?
say, Percy?
Does Mephisto show up sooner or later?
You know what? He probably will. Mephisto is behind all of this.
Mephisto is going to
Wasn't
show
he?
up with
Wasn't he?
Kang.
Was he one
They're
of the
going to have a
statues
supervillain
in
team up.
Love and Thunder? Was he one of the statues when Thor was escaping from Zeus? Wasn't he one of the statues in the back with the
I don't
goats?
know.
I don't know.
I,
And
I'm gonna be real honest.
what was up with the goats? Why? I understand the goats and the them screaming and stuff, but I think everybody in the theater was just laughing at the goats the whole time.
They were. I know in my
In
theater they
in
were.
um in Norse
It
mythology,
wasn't
Thor had
funny,
a chariot that was pulled by two goats. So that's what they were. That's
but
what
it
they
wasn't
were.
funny.
Well,
Oh
you
no, but you
John,
know
you
what?
had
That's
to
what they
take
were
it in.
pulling from.
John, you had to take it in context though, because remember, the guy gave him the damn goats after he destroyed their temple. It
Right.
was like, you know
It
what?
wasn't.
As a gift, I'm gonna give you these annoying ass screaming goats because you just jacked all our shit up that we needed here. And so yeah,
But it wasn't funny.
It
I
was
It
funny.
wasn't
laughed.
No,
funny.
you know
I
what the
laughed.
funniest part was? You know what the funniest part was when they went into the moon and the ghost just went smashing into the moon. All you heard was ah. That was the funniest part.
I like when Nebula was getting ready to shoot him. He was like, "I'm gonna put these things down." That was the best part to me with the goats.
No, no.
John just didn't
Okay,
like the
so
goats.
no, this film was just bad to me. So anyway, but as bad as Thor was, we can't even talk about what happened in the episode of Miss Marvel. We went straight to the end, and it was just like none of that
Oh yeah, none of it mattered.
stuff.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say it
But
seemed
it's
None
like
of
none
the
of it
stuff.
mattered.
but it's like any other Marvel show. It's always stuff at the end that gets our attention. They did it in Loki. They did it in Falcon Winter Soldier. They did it, they did it in Miss Marvel. They did it in Hawkeye. They do it all the time. It's always that last episode, the last 2 minutes of it, and then all of a sudden you see all this stuff happening. You be like, I went through eight shows or 10 shows or whatever to get to this point, and then we come on the show and then we talk about, oh man, what is this going to lead to? Well, this is going to lead to Doctor Strange, and this is going to lead to this, and this is going to lead to that. You
But
know,
in other Marvel films and TV shows, the meat of the show still gave us something to talk about. To be very honest, I can't tell you what the fuck happened in this last episode of Miss Marvel. All I know is she's a mutant, and
Maybe.
Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel showed up. I mean, like literally, I can't. There was a big scene with damage control, and they
right?
were running around the high school like it was fucking Home Alone. And there's
I
a fight that wasn't really a fight with Cameron, and that's it. It was
that
just like, and then
that
her
whole
father gives her the name Miss Marvel. That's it.
that whole damage control group, that was like the most useless antagonist I've
Yes,
ever seen in my entire
yes.
life. And then she gets fired at the end. Dude's like, you know what? You disobeyed the order. Get the hell on.
Damage
Yeah, they
Control
took
are the
they took
stormtroopers of the MCU.
they took Dwayne McDuffie's idea about damage control and just jacked it all up.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for
Jacked it
mentioning that
all
shit
up.
because that's what pisses me off the most. Damage Control was a great idea Dwayne McDuffie came up with, and in one fell swoop, Miss Marvel has managed to make them the Three Stooges of the MCU. And it
No,
just
we don't know that. We
weren't they didn't
don't know that yet. I got a strange feeling they're gonna show up in something else.
Well, I
They
have faith
probably
enough in
will.
Marvel that they'll eventually come back and course correct, but in this series, they wouldn't shit.
Wait.
Probably in She-Hulk.
Dwayne McDuffie works for Marvel?
He
Very
worked for
briefly.
Marvel, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
He created damage control.
Sure did.
Well, when y'all said that, that's what made me ask the
Well,
question. I didn't
yeah.
know that.
For Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, he
so
wrote.
what's the next-
No, he didn't. I'm about to lie.
Well,
What'd you
damage
say,
control
Percy?
Next
also
show.
showed up in some of the Marvel shorts. They showed up a little bit in Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man film, because they were recovering items from the Battle of New York, and they were the ones who were repairing everything from the different superhero battles that were happening, which was the premise of damage control. It was a group of people who pretty much cleaned up after superheroic combat, and so they would find things, or things would be left behind, and so that's how that worked.
Oh, okay.
James said, "Y'all palates have been ruined by the boys. Miss Marvel stuck the landing on the finale. Miss Marvel was good." James,
Okay.
you could be right about that, but no, I'm not. I'm not even gonna lie. The boys is setting the bar, and Miss Marvel is way below that bar.
Well, see, John, this is another one of those situations with John where he is not the core demographic, and he's not even able to imagine looking at this show from any other eyes. I think I wouldn't say it was bad. I did, like I said, I do think that they had a lot of useless stuff. Like the whole main part was just really useless in the episode to me. It didn't serve any purpose other than filling time. Like they're like, damn, we got like 10, 15 minutes. There's some shit we need to come up with, because really the whole episode is finding out that she's a mutant. That's really what the whole episode is about. I mean, ultimately, at the end of it, that is the biggest thing that happens in that. Everything else was completely useless to that point, because it's like it happens and then it's gone. So I think that was the challenge with that. So it wasn't bad. The one thing they did that I liked, which is different, is being that she is the first Muslim hero and all this stuff. They showed everybody rallying around her.
Right.
I think that was cool. They showed everybody rallying around her, talking about her being the character and all that stuff. So that was cool with the situation. In this episode, it's like she figured out her powers, and they started looking more like what I saw in the cartoons. I didn't read the books, but where her hands would just get bigger. It started to look like that. That's what it looked like when they were doing it with the stuff. So apparently, whoever this kid is, the guy has the negative powers similar to hers. I guess they're opposite or something.
My main issue with this is that Miss Marvel was uneven. It started out pretty strong, and then towards the end, it just kind of petered out. It's like they ran out of ideas. So they had a template of where it could go, and then towards the end, they were just like, oh well, let's just let's throw her back in time to show her grandmother. And it was like, okay, that to be very honest, the throwing her back in time did nothing about moving the story of Miss Marvel forward. Showing her, it was cool for them to show her history and how her grandmother came to end up in America, but it showing us about partition,
right?
And getting her grandmother out of wherever they were. And I didn't know anything about partition, so thank you for showing us that. But it started out as a great idea where they would show the little word balloons and they'd have the graphics behind the kids as they were riding the bikes. And it was like they set us up for one particular show, and then we ended up somewhere else. You know what I'm saying?
It was very Scott Pilgrim-ish.
That's
The fresh ideas that they had at the beginning never followed all the way through to the end. So I don't know what happened.
That's typical Marvel. That's a typical Marvel thing. The last, so they just throw everything at you and then say, okay, and then move on to the
But
next
Percy,
series.
the typical Marvel, the end is generally memorable. I hardly fucking remember what happened in this last episode, other than Home Alone.
Do you remember what happened in WandaVision?
He's a mutant.
Do you remember what happened in WandaVision?
Yeah, there was a big fight, and I was disappointed because we were supposed to have this actor that old boy had never worked with, and he was excited to work with, and it was just his fucking self. That was a bullshit.
What about Moon Knight?
Don't get me started. Don't get me started on WandaVision. You know I got PTSD.
I'm just saying. What about Moon Knight?
The end of Moon Knight?
Moon Knight, Hawkeye.
Moon Knight was at least interesting because it gave us a different perspective on the Marvel Universe with the gods, the Egyptian gods that they dealt with. I think, and the fact that we have an altar in that we haven't met yet.
Another alter ego, or another personality.
Yeah, Moon Knight gave us a little something at the end.
Well, Ms. Marvel gave us something. But, I mean, she turned into Ms. Marvel. So
she turned into Captain Marvel. Yeah, that was bringing in the star of the movie as a desperate measure to get us excited about the Marvels. Which I'm already excited about the Marvels. I want to see the Marvels. I want to see.
No, you don't. You want to see Photon.
Yeah. I want to see Monica Rambeau. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm not even gonna cap. I'm looking for Monica.
For real, no doubt. Hey,
I'm wondering if they're gonna. I'm wondering if they're gonna do this whole story about because in the comics, Carol Danvers and James Rhodes dated.
Yep.
They were dating for a little while, so I'm wondering if they're gonna do that in this one, or show at least part of it in this one with Rhodey.
The chemistry between Brie Larson and Don Cheadle. Let's see if that works on screen.
Look, man, you get paid a lot of money to act like you love people all the time in Hollywood. I think they can get it done.
Hey Roy, let's check out the trailer for Day Shift. Do you have the trailer for Day Shift?
Si, senor.
Yeah, let's check out that trailer. And get off Marvel.
Oh, well, no, that ain't working that way. Hold up.
So what's on the agenda today?
Close your eyes, my son. My eyes are closed.
Like every day.
What are you doing in my room?
Hunting vampires. Money.
Vampire hunting is a business. Cut necks and cash your checks. Well, things have changed since you got your ass kicked out the union.
If I don't come up with 10K, my wife and my daughter are gonna move to Florida.
Hi, Dad. You're late again.
And the union is the only place that could give me that kind of money.
Your record is chock full of incidents. But he's a new man. One last chance. This is your final warning.
Let's get cracking.
Oh, no! Help me! Vampires just tried to kill me. Now I just pissed my favorite fucking.
Hey, everybody pisses themselves the first time.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you?
No, I didn't. But listen, you did. You know what I see when I see a vamp? Big old dollar sign. Hey, don't you puke in here.
I swallowed it.
Locked and loaded. Doggy dog in the motherfucking.
Vampires. They live amongst us. And all they are is murderers. It's not Eclipse, New Moon, Breaking Dawn, Point One. It ain't like that, all right?
Why do you know the names to all the specific Twilight films?
What?
And what's your gripe with Breaking Dawn Part 2? It's the exciting conclusion of the whole Twilight saga.
Welcome to the day shift, motherfucker.
Works every time.
Murder was the case that they gave me.
So when did we start cutting off vampire heads? What's that about?
I mean, it looks more interesting than damn last episode of Miss Marvel.
Man, look. Actually, I'm interested. I want to check this out.
I'm interested in it, but that's just a whole new thing for me. It's just like, oh, that's how you kill vampires now, cutting off their heads. Some shit I had never seen or nobody's ever said before.
Well, one of the ways back in the day was they say you would behead the vampire and put holy wafers in his mouth to destroy it. So that was
I don't know about the holy wafer thing. I've heard about the cutting off the head, but the holy wafer thing.
Damn,
his
8th Netflix movie, really? I've seen Power. What's the other one? Give me 3 of the other ones. Power was isn't that the name of the one he did? Yeah, the Netflix movie.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah,
what was
something
the name
about
of that
powers.
It was Power.
But I know what you're talking about.
It was Power.
Yeah,
I thought that was the name of it. Yeah. I didn't, but that's the only one. James is like he had 8 movies. I'm like, really? I thought this was the second one.
No, he was in a He was in another movie. He was in one other Netflix movie. I know. I can't remember the name of it right now. Man, that's gonna bug me.
No, I don't.
But yeah, I can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Only one I can remember is the one where he had superpowers.
That's Power.
This one.
Yeah, that's the name of it. Power. It may have been Project Power.
I think that's what it is.
Project Power. That's it. Yeah. That's it. Project Power. Yeah, because Power is that 50 Cent shit where he's got a whole damn Marvel universe himself.
Right.
Over on Showtime.
It's pretty successful with it too, man. To be honest with you.
I mean,
and Omari Hardwick's needing to borrow money from him to get through. But okay, we'll leave that alone.
Wasn't that early on?
I didn't know about that.
I thought it was on, right? It must. Well, he been talking about it recently. So unless that just got rehashed, yeah.
Yeah, because he's been gone from Power for a minute.
Oh, really? I don't watch it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's got a Jamie Foxx had a sitcom, Dad Stop Embarrassing Me, on Netflix too.
Oh, I didn't even see that. I'd never heard of that.
It wasn't good.
Wasn't that with the order?
It only lasted one season. So there's that.
Okay.
So Day Shift. I am actually looking forward to Day Shift. That looks pretty funny and pretty action packed. So I'll check that out. And Jamie Foxx.
They have this whole underground economy of vampire killing.
Right.
Yeah, that's the interesting concept to me. Yeah, the concept is interesting because normally it's the other way around. Vampires are the dominant people, or they're the dominant beings doing what they want to do. But now, like you said, Rod, it's an economy around it. Regular people out here, to the point they got a damn union.
Right.
Yeah, unionize vampire killers.
Right. Just like black folk to unionize vampire killing. There you go. And Snoop Dogg is in it too, which is always a good time. Rod, how about those books we should be reading?
All right, real quick tonight, we got 2 choices for you. This one was really interesting. This is something else I picked up at SuperCon down in Miami. It's from Image Comics. This is actually a hardcover. It's called Black History in Its Own Words, and it's done by his name just got out of my head just now. Damn. And I want to give him credit. Hold on. Let me find this thing.
Oh, wow. He disappeared. So, I mean, it looks interesting. You got a mouth and a Black History in Its Own Words.
Is that what that is?
Ronald Wimberly. Yeah,
It looks
that's
like
a
a mouth.
mouth. Yeah, Ronald Wimberly's the artist for this. And what he did was he took different people from different times and eras of Black history and drew them, and then put some of their quotes, their more famous quotes, along with their pictures, and he gives information on them. So it's not the typical Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey. It's not the typical ones that you see. You're looking at a few lesser known people, but should be known, and a lot more people from the art world. Like for instance, Saul Williams, who's a poet, actor, and a musician. He's in here. Um, Dave Chappelle is in here. Spike Lee is in this. So I'm just kind of thumbing through it right now. Fred Hampton is in here, one of the Black Panther Party members. Um, Ali is in here. Sojourner Truth, Katherine Johnson. And I like Katherine Johnson's quote. It says, "Math, you're either right or you're wrong. That's what I like about it." So, that's one of the more interesting quotes that I like from this. And this is really a really good book, I think, to pick up for younger people. For older people who want to get a little bit more in tune or tap in a little bit more to Black history is good too. Um, Actually, you could probably take this book and the ones that you find some of your favorites, if you want to. Really, I guess you could just kind of take it apart and post these as little mini posters, because the book is not really that big. Um, they actually look very frameable now that I think about it. So it's
Cool.
really really cool to grab, and it doesn't cost that much either. It's only like $16 from
Cool.
Image Comics.
Excellent.
Yep,
From Image. Oh wow.
Image. Yep.
Nice.
And this is the Boys Omnibus, Volume One. So it collects the first few issues of the Boys, and um, the overall premise is pretty much the same as a TV show, but there are some major differences from the comic and the TV show. The comic is a lot more graphic because they can get away with a lot more on the printed page as opposed to on a television screen, which I found pretty interesting. But you get a different look at a different looking Seven. They changed the Seven around quite a bit for the TV show, but as I mentioned before, the premise is still the same. That right there, that's Butcher on the cover. Um, you have Wee Huey still. They call him Wee Huey in the book. You have Mother's Milk. You have Frenchie, um, the female, everyone. So it's really good to pick up if you kind of want to just see the differences between the TV show and the comic. And as I mentioned before, the comic goes into a lot more detail with a lot of things, and there are a lot more twists and turns that you would think of. And the one that comes to mind immediately is the character of Black Noir. So, which is a big surprise in the comic. So definitely
Mm-hmm.
pick this up. Um, because obviously because of the popularity of the TV show, they've re-released these and created more of them, so you can get your hands on them a lot more easily than before. So those are my two comics.
Nice.
Pick them up.
Nice. So the TV show has drastically gone off from what the comic book did, hasn't it?
Some of the characterizations have changed quite a bit. As
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned before, the basic storyline is that there are guys who were paid by the CIA to take out soups. That's still a thing. Um,
Got it.
you see a little bit of different stuff with Homelander and
Mm-hmm.
the rest of the Seven.
Right.
And but I can tell you right now, like one of the major things visually, anyway, um, the costumes are a lot different from the comics. Um, and I think for whatever reason they changed some of the characterizations of some of the Seven. But
Okay.
like I said, for the most part, it's kind of it's I'd say it's probably 70% the same thing, and 30% that's different is radically different. And
Got
so
it.
it's pretty much something you could that could stand on its own. I'll put it that way.
Okay. Cool. Thank you, sir.
You got
We've
it.
lost Uncle Percy. Uncle Percy has disappeared on us. But
Uh-oh.
No,
this
I'm
is no
still
better
around.
time than now. Oh, he's
I'm
still here.
around.
Okay, so Uncle Percy, what you got for us before we leave?
Nothing right now. I'm kind of occupied.
Oh shit. Okay, well
I'm,
you handle
I'm,
your
I'm
business,
doing my
sir.
I'm doing my own Pepto Bismol commercial at this point, so you don't really want to know.
All right.
Oh my God. Rod, anything you've got for us right now?
Talk about hero
One more
gasm.
time. One more time, y'all. Urban Nerd Con, Montgomery, Alabama, the 29th through the 31st of July. Come on down. We got kid discounts. We got stuff for everybody. Children of all ages, nerds of all ages, nerds of all sizes, all shapes, colors. Come on down. Have fun that weekend. If you're not doing anything, it'll be the last big blowout event before everybody has to go back to school and be miserable. Kinda.
Yes, Lord. Uncle Roy, anything going on with the
I threw
network,
that in
sir?
for you, Big John.
What he just
Yeah,
said.
you're right.
What he just said.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, for Uncle DJ, Anthony Cole, Uncle Percy, who is indisposed, Uncle Rod, and Uncle Roy, thank you for checking us out today. We appreciate you. Heidi, James, Greg, everybody, thank you for checking us out.
Shout
We'll
out to
talk to you
everybody in
next
the
week.
chat.
That's right. Everybody in the chat. We'll talk to you soon. Night, night.